brought so many subscribers in. He crashed DubClub.
Like, I get this question all the time. How is it so hard posting sport plays? It's not as simple as clicking a few buttons and posting a play. Because then, yeah, if you lose, now you're going to lose that customer potentially if they feel like you're just half-assing your work.
Cannot believe you were driving for Instacart.
I stopped because I carried 12 36-pack soda cases up 2 flights of stairs for a karaoke business. And the owner didn't tip me or show any appreciation. So I was like, I think I'm worth more than this.
Chase your dreams.
Chase your dreams.
Build your business on DubClub.
Yep.
All right, we're on the DubClub CEO Corner. I am Ryan Gaertner, the CEO of DubClub. I'm joined by Bailey from Sriracha DFS. Bailey, how are we doing?
I'm good. Last time we had a little bit of a improv interview, but this time much better. Getting ready to rock and roll into the new year.
That's right. Yeah, we're early December now. I think the last time that you and I did this podcast, we were sitting in a co-working space in Burlingame. Now we're up in the San Francisco DubClub office and making the most of it.
Yeah, super excited. Got a lot of cool things that, have happened since our last, little podcast. So excited to catch you guys up on my life the last couple months.
Yeah, I'm excited to dig in. Bailey, I think one thing that we didn't quite touch on as much as we probably should have the last time you and I talked is just how much I love your story and how much I love your business. And I want to hype you up a little bit. Like I'm not going to have you like carrying around a sign of the earnings club that you're in and all that stuff. But you're building a pretty amazing sports consulting business, the CEO of that business. Mm-hmm. Talk me through the before and after of Sriracha DFS. When I say after, I mean the current, like what life is like now versus what it was like before.
Yeah, so I've been doing this since I was about 13, 14 years old. As you guys, if you didn't watch the last one, definitely would recommend watching it. You can breeze through it, but
quality's way better this time. So yeah, we'll just
I'll repeat everything I said. I've been doing this since I was like 13, 14 years old. So going on about 9 years now. And it's been a journey. First started off with my older brother, ran the business together. 2020 came around. He basically was like, I'm over it. I'm going to do my own thing with my career path. Take over. If you don't want to run the page anymore, like it's fine. We'll just let it die. If you want to make something of it, go ahead. So I took that opportunity and just made the most of it, and I couldn't be more grateful to be where I am today. And I took a leap of faith and it paid off.
So talk me through that. What started as back and forth with you and your brother, I'm assuming you guys were betting on sports. You're obviously like close with him. How did it evolve into you running this business by yourself?
Yeah, so 14 years old. I mean, obviously you're not of the legal age to bet. So everything was under his name. We were doing FanDuel, DraftKings lineups like every single day for years. Obviously now the space has converted over to props and prize picks and underdog and stuff like that. But yeah, we started off in the FanDuel DraftKings space, kind of built our following there, maybe a couple thousand followers.
On X?
On X or Twitter, yeah. 2020, we only had 4,000 followers. So
wow.
To put that in perspective.
Where are you at now? Just so we have a sense.
Just today, we hit 160,000. So
it's incredible.
Making a lot of great growth over the last couple of years.
156,000 followers of growth in just 4 years.
Yeah. So super grateful. And I couldn't be here, without DubClub, and all the followers that kind of support me every single day.
So you started this business when you were 14.
Yeah. So again, ran it with my brother. We were just, posting free stuff mainly. We had a paid subscription service, kind of like, hey, Venmo me $15 and I'll add you to the Discord. We did that for about a year in 2019. Maybe had max 40 people sign up. And, we were super grateful for every single person because, at that time, it's like it's going straight to your PayPal, straight to your Venmo. So we're like, all right, we can finally get a Chipotle bowl. We can go out to eat and it'll cover our dinner. Like we were super stoked, So yeah, super, super grateful.
So originally started the business when you're 14 and you're winning, you're making money, and you're using that to fund your dinners, your Chipotle dinners. Yeah. Nothing crazy, no steak dinners at that time, just Chipotle and keeping it.
So basically, like we were playing very, very minimal, maybe a couple dollars a day, you know.
Yeah. On Prize Picks?
On FanDuel at that time, yeah.
That's right. Okay.
So I would say from about 2016 up until about 2020, it was mainly just FanDuel, betting a couple dollars a day. Got a really big hit, I believe, in 2018, which is when I won the $40,000, which I spoke about in our last podcast.
Yep. Well, you can talk about that again, like what the moment was like when you won $40,000 from betting. Yeah.
So, you know, that day we put a $9 entry to win 40,000 was first.
$9 to win 40,000.
Yeah. So on FanDuel, it's a tournament style. So like hundreds of thousands of people enter. You know, the prize pool is like first is this, second is this, up all the way until like usually it's about 30% of the people will win some sort of profit.
Yep.
So we got first, won $40,000 in the span of like a week or two. It was all gone. But that was like our big breakthrough in the industry. That's when we got a couple thousand followers. Like I believe from that point, we got from like 1,000 followers to about like almost 3,000. So
wow,
it was a big spike.
It's incredible that winning, what is that, $39,991 of profit is only worth 3,000 followers.
Yeah. But at that time, again,
space was different back then.
Exactly.
But yeah,
exactly.
But that was credibility. Why do you think all those people followed you? Just out of curiosity.
Well, at that time, like, you know, the gambling industry was quite small. Like everybody was kind of doing their own thing.
Small as in people didn't really know about it? Or
exactly. Yeah. Everybody was kind of doing the same thing. Just posting, you know, at the time it was like 50-50s, right? Head-to-head matchups. So when you won a big tournament, it was like, damn, somebody in the industry that's posting free plays, posting content in general actually won.
Yeah.
Because most of the time it was like random people that would win, right?
Yep.
And you wouldn't ever hear from them.
Yeah.
But the fact that somebody in the space won, it's like, whoa, it's a big contest. There were like 100,000 plus people that were entered into it. Like that was a big, you know, thing.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I didn't mean to interrupt, but you got to. I love this story.
Yeah.
Like I think you and Secured Picks, Tyson. You guys are like two of the youngest people I know that have gotten into this business. I think you beat him by a couple of years. I think he started when he was 16. But it's amazing. You started this when you were 14 with your brother. Walk me through the next couple of years after things got started, right? You made it to 4,000 followers. Then what? So
COVID hit. All the sports stopped. I personally took a break after we made that $40,000. We lost it all. I took a break. I took a whole year break.
Yep.
So here comes COVID coming around. No sports are on. I remember the exact moment. He took me to get my oil changed. And he's like, oh, on Prize Picks, there's like esports and stuff now.
Oh, and this is the dawn of the Sriracha esports
it was like right
era.
Before NBA paused, right? He was like, oh, there's basketball. Sometimes they have esports. You should look into it if you want to, you know, of course, if you want to come back to it. And I was like, oh, I'll take a look. Right. So I was in my senior year of high school. And again, whole senior year, didn't do any type of betting, didn't even pay attention to sports really.
Yep.
Watch the occasional Lakers game. That's it.
What were you doing?
Just school.
Grinding.
Yeah, grinding. Yeah.
So 6-figure plus business today, back, 5-6 years ago, just grinding in school.
Yeah, I was grinding in school, and I was doing Instacart.
Oh.
So I was doing Instacart for a while.
That is a new fact. I did not know that.
Yeah, and okay. I show my earnings sometimes.
So you had the entrepreneurial bug from day one. You were doing, you wanted to be making some money.
Yeah. So
I love that.
I was doing that. He took me to get my oil changed, told me about it, and I was like, okay, I'll look into it. So as soon as I started, I was like, well, this is pretty cool. I was interested, but at the same time, I was like, oh, do I really want to get back into it? And then that's when he was like, also, I just got a new job. So, the Twitter page is kind of dead. Again, we hadn't posted for a while.
Yep.
COVID came around, was, on the brisk, and our business kind of died. Like our growth was really stalling. Very, very little interaction. 5 likes on our posts, 10 likes on our posts.
Yeah.
We're like, yeah, it's just not worth our time anymore. So the account was just there for maybe a month or so, especially when I was taking a year off. I was always handling the social media stuff.
Yep.
Right. So with him, not really being social media savvy, there was no content being posted. So I took over, started posting a lot of free NBA stuff, and I killed like the first 3 months that I was on Prize Picks.
When you say killed, what does that mean?
Like we were winning like 6 out of 7 days of the week.
Wow.
Like it was really great. And it was all free. So that's when I started to really grow my following. And then, fast forward a little bit more, 2021, all COVID comes around, all the basketball stops, right? So this is when esports comes back. This is when the esports, dream started. So when basketball paused, esports began, and I was just like, all right, there's no basketball. So I started doing Korean baseball, League of Legends, and then CS2.
Yeah.
Or back then it was CSGO. And that's when I found my niche in this market, right? Like, a lot of people are like, well, how am I supposed to bet if I don't know anything about these sports? I want to bet. I have nothing else to do. I'm at home all the time. Like, there's nothing else for me to do. So that's when I was like, all right, well, I got you guys. Like, here's some free stuff. Like, Korean baseball was a big hit because all the games were like at 2 a.m.
Yep.
Right? League of Legends, same thing. CS, same thing. So all these people just spent their days just like doing nothing. And at night times, all right, I'm going to stay up and watch these games. So that's how it started.
Incredible. Okay, so I'm going to rewind a little bit. You were driving Instacart as a high school senior.
Yeah. Into my freshman year of college, actually. Yeah.
While you were also thinking, or at least having conversations with your brother about, I should start posting more content for free on Twitter. And that content turned into just slamming NBA winners on Prize Picks.
Yep.
And then from there, that's what really launched, I would say, like the original Sriracha brand reboot 2.0 after COVID.
Yeah.
And then you got into esports.
Yeah. So here's kind of like the timeline in simple form. Took a break. So 2018, win 40,000.
Yep.
2019, take a whole year break because I lost the 40,000. 2020 comes around.
Put yourself in timeout for a year.
Yeah, put yourself in timeout. 2020 comes around. Experiment with NBA for a little bit before the COVID comes around and all things are shut down.
Yep.
2021 comes around, mainly focusing on esports. And then basketball comes back, the bubble. That was when the bubble was back. And that was when I was doing really well because every player was playing so consistently. If you guys keep up with basketball, like the bubble was when every player was dropping 40, 50, 60 points a night. Like it was nothing.
Yep.
Right. So did a little bit of, stuff back then. Following still very small though. I'll tell you that. 2020 was when I created my Discord or my premium picks. But for the most part of 2021, the later part of it, that was when I was just pumping out free content, nonstop.
Cannot believe you were driving for Instacart.
Yeah, I did Instacart all the way up until January of 2022. I actually have it in my phone still.
Do you remember how much you made from that, roughly?
Yeah, so I'll tell you the last story of when I stopped.
Yeah.
I didn't stop because I started making money on doing this or anything like that.
Yeah.
I stopped because I carried 12 soda, I guess 36 pack soda cases up 2 flights of stairs for a karaoke business. On top of like 12 cases of water. It's just a bunch of heavy stuff. And the owner didn't tip me or show any appreciation or send an employee down to help me. So I was like, I think I'm worth more than this.
Oh, yeah.
And at that time, again, when COVID came around, my dad got laid off. My mom's been a stay-at-home mom. So I was like, okay, I got to make something happen. Yeah, that's the last time.
Look in the camera when you say that. You are worth more than that. I think a lot of people could take a lot of good advice from that.
Yeah.
Anyone who's driving Instacart or driving for Uber or Lyft and thinks that they maybe have a hunch they want to start a business online or see what it's like.
Yeah. Chase your dreams.
Chase your dreams. That being said, it's a grind, which I think you should touch on a little bit, right? So 4,000 to 160,000 followers doesn't just happen overnight.
Yeah. So 2021, again, a little bit of growth. But the end of 2021 was when the boom was like things were just rapidly growing.
Yep.
Esports again, NBA bubble. 2022 comes around February on Valentine's Day is when I officially launched my premium Discord. And my brother was really against it. So we had a huge little argument about it.
Let's reenact the argument. So back when you and your brother are deciding, do we want to start charging for our content? These, we're giving people advice. We want to start charging for it for the first time. What was your argument for, and what was his argument against charging?
Okay, so although he kind of handed the keys to me, he was still giving input here and there. He was like, I don't think you should do this. Like, we were still technically contracted with a company to post kind of like write-ups for them,
Mm-hmm.
sports analysts write-ups.
Yep.
And he was like, well, if you start your own premium, then you're gonna have to leave the company, and then we're gonna have no shot at writing for some of these other huge companies in the space.
Yep.
I was like, F that. Like I could be bigger than these companies. Just let me do it.
Yep.
So I just literally rebranded the entire Twitter, told the company we were contracted with that I'm leaving, starting my own thing. And now, I mean, I still get DMs from the CEO of that former company who they don't exist anymore, that I wouldn't make it anywhere. Yeah, I don't want to name drop, even though I really want to. It's not professional, but I would really want to name drop. He's still in this space now, has his new project. But yeah, it's nice to know that, I've done bigger things than get bossed around by somebody.
Yeah, it's nice when you can show and not tell.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
just watch me start my own business and, become a millionaire faster than you could blink, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. So a lot of interesting stuff in there. I kind of want to unpack a little bit so it's been a grind building your business, and there's obviously more to come. I think at this point, though, you probably feel some of the leverage and the gravity of having 160,000 followers. That's no joke, and you've built the brand of legitimacy for yourself. I think a lot of people are probably wondering, when you talk about those streaks of 6 out of 7 days of cash and NBA tickets on Prize Picks, how do you make that happen? Like, walk us through your betting strategy at a high level.
So I think, it's all about adapting, right? Like
it's all about adapting.
Yeah.
Okay.
You look at back then, it was a lot easier to make money on Prize Picks, right? Like, it was still a fairly new company.
Why is that?
I think they just didn't really adjust to lines, right? Like, sportsbooks, injury news comes out, boom, everything's off the board. They adjust to whoever has been ruled in or out. On Prize Picks, they were a little slow. So, for example, to put it in perspective, let's say in today's NBA, if you have the Denver Nuggets, for example, if Nikola Jokic gets ruled out, it's just common sense to believe that everybody around him will have to be shooting the ball more, passing the ball more, etc.
Yep.
Back then, Prize Picks wouldn't adjust to that until a good amount of time later, which is the edge that you had on there. On top of esports, they had very, very little knowledge about it. So they were posting lines that were like crazy low or crazy high, not adjusting to anything at all. The line that they posted at was a line it would finish at. There was no moving. Nowadays, I'll post a prop, it'll get moved in minutes. It used to be seconds. Now my pool has been a little different, but back then it used to be like 5 seconds and it's off the board.
And that's because they see your user and they're like, this guy is killing us. So when he takes this line, like, that gives us signal we should start to we should pull the line off the board or we should start to move it.
Yeah. So 2 really cool stories, actually. One, they would literally, obviously when they see a lot of money being poured onto a certain prop, it'll alert their system.
Yep.
But back in last year, actually, when I was on a crazy esports streak, I was able to actually move the lines myself. So I would enter something on my account. If I wanted an under, I would just place it as over, so that they would in their system, before I even posted anything, they would move it up. And I'd be like, all right, guys, I'm gonna cancel my entry. Here it is. Play the under. We got it at a better line. And nobody believed me until I literally showed them, like, look at the time I entered it. Look at the time it got bumped. Look at the time I actually posted the prop. And then everybody's like, holy shit, like, you actually manipulated the line and got us a better valued line. But for esports,
that's awesome.
It's pretty extreme in the sense that they can move lines pretty crazily.
How many other people, sports content creators, I'm using that term because the term used to be capper, but I think it's really like user sports content creators. You're giving people advice. How many other sports content creators do you think move lines like that, or at least have at one point had that sort of pull?
Yeah, I think in general, nowadays lines move so rapidly, no matter if you're a big creator, small creator. They're trying to make money any way they can. For example, if a guy opens up at 15 points, they can move it to 16 right before game time and then move it back to 15 and a half. So regardless, whichever side you try to play, it's like Vegas will always have their way of making money. You know what I mean? So
do you have a good sense of how line movement works from the standpoint of generating the book money?
I would say yeah, but at the same time, I mean, again, every year is kind of different, right?
Yeah. Like the books are constantly iterating.
Yeah, they're so sharp. I mean, this past week I lost by 0.1. Like,
I saw that.
That was actually incredible.
That was
back-to-back days. I lost by
that
one.
was Steph, right?
It was Steph. He missed a free throw.
Yeah.
By the way, like 90+% free throw shooter.
Yeah.
And then Justin Jefferson, I lost by 1 yard.
Like, those are both fantasy points, right?
Yeah, it's so incredibly sharp. Like, how did they know? You know, but I mean, they're way sharper than us, so that's why that's their job.
It's their job, and it's your job to beat them.
Exactly.
Okay, so there's a question I was wondering. This is a little bit of a tangent, really fast, before we get back into the business stuff. But I've been using Prize Picks a little bit recently. It's fun. It's interesting. Definitely a lot more helpful. I'm subscribed to a couple guys like Captain Crush, a few others. I've subscribed to you like a lot over the last couple of years. Our founding designer is actually in your Discord right now. He's been bringing it up a couple times. He loves it. With Prize Picks, I'm trying to understand why some of the plays that they have on the board get locked. Like, do you know why that is? And then why maybe this is like novice better in me, which I'm open about. Like, we're building a product that even people like me who originally got into the space because I love building businesses and helping people build businesses. We're building a product that even people like me will want to use.
Yeah.
So help me understand Prize Picks a little bit and like why sometimes it just allows me to choose the over, and why some things are locked. Like, what is that about?
Yeah, I will say, like, as much as I do use Prize Picks a lot, it's not that great of a company. The only reason why I still continue to do it is the esports mainly. Like, there's a lot of other sites that provide a lot of great props as well.
Yeah, name some. Like, what else do you use that you love, that you're like, yeah, not even love, just like, what else do you use? What other books?
Yeah, so I just partnered up with Underdog very, very recently in the
Nice.
last week. Haven't really announced it yet, but
it's exciting. Mackins is from Underdog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, super cool company that really takes care of their customers. Like, for Prize Picks, have a great following, but I have no relationship with them. Like, for me to talk to somebody at customer service, I have to literally talk to a regular customer service rep. Yeah. Even though, they have no idea of what I'm trying to ask them. Like, my questions are very high level. They're just there to answer, like, oh, where is this? Is this an eligible state? Like, little, simple questions, right? When I ask them a high level question, they're like sending me computer generated answers. And I'm like, I feel like I deserve a little bit better, of a customer service response than this.
Yeah. It's back to that Instacart moment when you're delivering the case of drinks and no tip, no even thank you.
Exactly.
It's like you're getting the support responses and you're spending, tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars on their platform and driving a lot of people to it too.
Exactly. So with Underdog, I have my own customer service rep,
nice
VIP guy, super cool.
Do you know what's his name? It's not Dylan, is it?
His name's Gator. So
okay.
He goes by Gator.
Yeah, there's a guy Dylan I've been talking to. He's done like a lot of the VIP stuff, like FanDuel, DraftKings. He's awesome. So if you can get in touch with him, highly recommend.
Yeah, so
Good
super
shout
cool.
out to Dylan.
I mean, I would say again, like Prize Picks, that's their way of controlling what they can control. So as soon as a player gets ruled out, they'll lock the line. That's why you see the lock.
Ah, I see.
Sometimes you can only bet more. It's when they give out an alt line, which is basically like they call it demons, right? They'll see like a little demon emoji next to the player name. And that's when you can only take the over because it's a live bet, right? They're not going to allow you to take it under.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, it seems simple enough. Mm-hmm. Okay. Straightforward.
Yeah.
All right. So February 2022, you started charging for the first time. And you and your brother obviously had some back and forth over this decision. How did that go? First couple of months?
It was very hard to manage.
What were you using when you first started charging before DubClub?
So actually me and my ex-girlfriend were just taking every single payment, writing it down, checking the date that they signed up. And then after I would say the first 2 or 3 weeks, I was like, okay, there's way too many people for me to keep track. And by that time, it was only 90 something people, but I was like, that's way too many people to track. Still grateful for those 90 people that took a chance on me, right? But I was like, I gotta find a new platform. So Discord actually had Me6, which was their own type of subscription service, still around today.
It's a little bot that manages removal and access.
It's not that good.
Yeah. What was it charging? It was 5 to 10%, something like that?
I believe it was 5%. But I mean, they didn't provide any other service besides the integration. So
yeah,
really hard to manage.
Yep.
And then after that, December of 2022, which is now my 2-year anniversary here with DubClub.
That's right.
You yourself actually reached out.
I did.
And then we, hit it
off. You got the CEO treatment.
I know. And then that December, we were like, all right, let's start. So we did the free trial. And then January of 2023, we were up and running on DubClub as a paid service.
Yeah. Do you remember that back and forth? Because I do. So I was actually in business school at the time.
Oh, wow.
And I remember being on the phone with you, and I was outside a classroom, which, all my professors probably listening to this, but like, that's the point of business school, right? You're starting a business and dealing with amazing customers you're bringing on board. I remember that moment when I was outside the classroom and you were talking to me about some of your concerns. How did that process go in the first 30 to 60 days on DubClub?
It was, again, where we're at now is just incredible, right? Like back then we were just learning, right? Like we were young, we were just learning, and everything worked the way it was supposed to an extent, right? Like once I pushed the limit, I think 2023 March was when we broke the site.
Yeah.
Had so many people.
I'll repeat that. Bailey brought so many subscribers in that he crashed DubClub, which has never happened before. And it was very quick. I think it was like, I don't know, like a minute or so. But the integration we had with Discord, you also broke. And I was like, hey man, this is a good problem to have. You're growing with us. We're still young. Again, I was still in business school. Yeah. So yeah, that was a fun memory. But yeah, March 2023, 2 or 3 months in, after everyone had converted from the free trials to paying subscribers. Yeah, walk through that, how you were feeling in that moment and how we've sort of grown since then. Yeah,
so on a crazy esports run, like no matter what I did, knock on wood, but I literally couldn't miss, right?
Yes.
So we were on like, I think our 6th straight day of just cranking out huge parlays, right? Like 5, 6, I think it was, at the time it was like 5 legs, but multiple of them every single day. And I remember I posted that day and I think over 10,000 people viewed it on DubClub at the same time. And then everything just froze. And I was like, holy shit, like this is bad. Because now everybody's going to be like, oh, I couldn't view it, this and that. So the first thing I did was,
I want my money back. Yeah.
First thing I did was I called Dash.
Yeah.
Dash was like, all right, I'll talk to engineers right now.
Yeah. And Dash is my co-founder and your partner success manager.
Yep. The GOAT. I call Dash the GOAT.
Yeah. He's actually in the office today up here in SF.
Yeah. So crazy moment. I remember the day I posted it, I was still living with my parents. I was sitting on my parents' dining table, no shirt on, in my shorts, just like I was literally like a little, life, dude. Like a little chemist, just like finished working, So I just posted the stuff. My hair's all crazy, and I'm like, wait, none of this is working. Like my computer just froze, and I thought it was my computer.
Yeah.
Because keep in mind, I was still using a MacBook from like 2016.
Yep.
And this was 2 years ago, so 6-year-old MacBook, and I'm trying to like crank out something that 10,000 people are going to view. So I thought it was just the computer, but it was the site.
So you call Dash and he says, we're going to get the engineers to fix this.
Yep.
And then what?
And then I think it was like a couple minutes later, everything was kind of viewable.
Yep.
I posted it back in the Discord so everybody was able to view it. Discord ended up crashing on me. And then the next morning, everything was fixed. And since then, there's been no issues. So
yeah, big shout out to the team. We did a little overnighter there. And we're like, let's fix it for Bailey. Do what we got to do.
Yep.
That thankfully, that hasn't happened a lot. A little bit of behind the scenes of DubClub and just generally like software as you use a lot of products.
Yeah.
When volume spikes, you got to make sure the system is like ready and set up to make sure that it does not crash. It can support that level of volume.
Yeah.
So a lot of like our engineers have been very much focused on building for scale. And while it's definitely not impenetrable, right? Like there's still chances where we can have issues. It's fixable enough where we have logging, we know what's going on, so we know what messages were and weren't delivered, who got them, who didn't.
Yeah.
Making sure every consumer can get the content they paid for, and that the business user like yourself has 110% visibility into what is going on, which is new. That's growing pains, right? Because of you crashing DubClub.win, we've continue to invest in stuff like that, knowing that this can happen at any time.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
like you could go on another heater, and you actually have had those instances since then where it's like, whoa, Bailey's shooting up again. You know, there goes Sriracha DFS. But this time we're all sitting back, just observing and enjoying rather than with anxiety shooting through our veins.
Yeah. I mean, every big company has their growing pains as well. You know, even now, X crashes all the time.
Yeah.
Instagram still crashes. You know, Facebook crashes. So it's part of the game. It's
part of the game.
Yep. Control what you can control.
Hopefully in 5 to 10 years, we're on that same scale with Instagram and X and, you know, but less crashing, of course.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the goal. Okay, so you talked a little bit about your DubClub journey at the beginning, but you mentioned at the very beginning of our discussion, the growth from 4,000 to 160,000 followers has been in some part due to DubClub's help. Talk to me about that, because obviously I love hearing that. Our mission is to help more people win more together, to help you make more money and help consumers get better information.
Yeah.
It's the perfect marriage, and we sit in the middle. But how have we really helped you grow your business, and what are the things that we've done just to peel back the layers a little bit?
Yeah. So email marketing is huge. That's something that previously I have done some email marketing. But I mean, you guys handle all that for me, right? So if somebody clicks on my subscription link and they decide, okay, maybe I want to buy this later, but not right now, you guys do a great job at win back campaigns as well. So like, for example, I think it's like a day. It's for mine, at least. It's set for a day, 3 days, and 5 days after you clicked on my link.
Did you set those up in the product?
Yep.
Nice. Great.
They'll email DubClub, you know, the automated system will email you a discount code. So that's a little trick for you guys. If you guys didn't know, if you want a little discount code, there'll be one in the comments of this podcast video. But also, if you want to sign up, let's say you don't get paid till Friday. On Monday, click on my link. Next day, you'll get a little discount.
There you go.
Sent right to your email.
Yeah. Love that.
So a lot of cool features that I think, you know, you guys have provided me with, a lot of resources, especially. That's one of them. Another one is just promoting me on the discovery page, on the front page of all your emails as well. So really cool.
And do you think that has resulted in more people following you and knowing about your business on social, which leads to more conversion? Or how do you think some of that discovery on DubClub has helped your business from a sales generation standpoint?
Yeah, so DubClub's cool because if you sign up for one person, you can also sign up for another person.
Yeah,
right? So
it's nice. And it's not, we actually have seen this in the data. It's like 1 out of 4 people has 2 or more subscriptions because it's kind of additive. You're making me money. I now have more money to spend. I kind of want to bet on baseball, you know, come March. I'm going to go find a baseball creator.
Exactly.
Right? Like it kind of, everyone wins more together. That's kind of the beauty.
Yeah. So, I mean, you guys just getting my name out there as much as possible definitely helped me a lot. Whether that's on socials, newsletters, you know, now we have like these little video, you know, projects we're working on, which is super cool. And this podcast allows me to speak to people one-on-one, let them know my story, tell them a little bit more about who Sriracha DFS is, right? Because up until, September? Was it September?
Mid-August when you and I did the podcast in person.
That was my first time showing my face. And since then, I've been doing a lot of live streams with my face. And, you know, without that little icebreaker moment, I don't know if I would have been comfortable enough to do face cam on live streams.
I'm really glad you did.
Yeah.
And I you know, actually talked to one of our older partners, older as in the sense he's been on DubClub now for three and a half years, just about since we started. Mm-hmm. And he's very hesitant to do some face stuff, shows face talk. I'm like, man, you're smart. You got a great personality, you know? And so I think it's like over time, these creators will recognize that the, you know, faceless, nameless stuff is not the same type of parasocial relationship you can have with users on the other end of the camera or the other end of your DubClub or whatever it might be. What advice would you have for creators that maybe are thinking or on the fence about showing face? And at what point do you think it makes the most sense for them in their journey of building their business? Yeah,
I mean, obviously having that identity is huge. Allowing people to see what you look like, it builds that connection with them. It adds more trust. I think that's a big one, is trust. Because at the end of the day, we're just basically another person behind an avatar, online. You can type away whatever you want, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And this day and age, they call it keyboard warriors, right? But yeah, just like having your face out there just allows people to build that connection with you, no matter if they're on the other side of the country or not. They still support you for you, and I think that's something the face cam can definitely help with.
I agree. I think that's something I'm going to continue to spread, just because got a lot of great characters, great personalities on DubClub, but a lot of them have not necessarily shown their face or shown that personality yet. And I want to bring it out of them, because we know most of you guys, if not all of you, on a fairly personal level.
Yeah.
Everyone has a success manager. So across the people on the partner success team, they know everyone behind the DubClub brand, which is really fun.
I mean, I would say, like, if you already built your brand with a logo, an emoji, an avatar, whatever the case is, don't take that away, add to it.
Yeah.
So for me, right, like, I didn't change my profile picture or my logo because I've been showing my face, because that's, people know me for that logo.
That's right.
Right. If I randomly change it to a picture of my face, you're like, who the hell is this?
Right.
But if I'm like constantly posting content with my face on it, live streams with my face on it, now they know me as, oh, that's who's behind Sriracha DFS. Right. So add to your brand. Don't take away from it.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly agree.
Yep.
So Bailey, you've been on DubClub now for 2 years. You have probably heard from everyone and their mother who is trying to build a company in this space, because when there's money to be made, people want to be in the space. A lot of them for the wrong reasons. Some of them maybe for the right ones.
Yep.
Can't really tell, honestly. I think we deeply care about you helping people and getting paid a lot of money while doing it, and we're building what we can to make sure that happens for you with less and less effort over time. Mm-hmm. What are some of the things about DubClub that make us different than other places that maybe have tried to court you over time?
Yeah, I mean, just again, building that relationship, I think, is big, right? For example, with Me6, it was a bot, right? So I'm not even gonna be like going and talking about their company much, because I didn't really talk to anybody there.
Yeah, you don't know who even listened to this.
Exactly.
I don't know if they even care about this industry.
Exactly.
No offense to them. I find software, but
for other companies, like, I just didn't feel like the relationship was there. They understood that my business was big. They have great tools, but I kind of just have to navigate everything myself. Right? With DubClub, I feel like I have a great team behind me. Success manager always, supporting me, making sure that I have not just my business side intact, but also the personal stuff, to go along with it. Because at the same time, it's like, if you don't have your personal life together, your business is going to go to shit.
100%.
Especially with health as well.
Yep.
So just making sure they're always checking up on me, I think, is something that's really resonated with me.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Win more together. Again, together is the key word there.
Exactly.
Right? You can win by yourself, win more together with your partner success manager.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's an important point generally about the business you're building, and what I've heard from a lot of the creators we work with. It's just, it can be lonely. It can be pretty lonely, and it's hard. And I feel that because, I'm the CEO of DubClub. I looked the other day with 31 people, and I talk to Lewis, my co-founder, every week at a minimum. But even that, it's quick 30-minute, hour-long conversation. Other than that, like, I'm thinking by myself, doing a lot of stuff, in the weeds with the team. But I don't, I found my own team, I have like coaches and whatnot, and that's kind of like the role that we want to play for our partners.
Yeah.
It is important to note, though, at a certain scale, that coaching makes more sense for creators that are just getting going. How do you think that they can take advantage of the DubClub ethos of winning more together? What are some of the things that DubClub offers that maybe you're involved with, that some of the earlier creators, with 10, 20, 100 subs, not quite in the thousands yet, what can they take advantage of that will help them grow their business?
Yeah. So if you guys are new to DubClub, we have a lot of great starting guides, which a lot of it's getting improved. It might be out by the time this is published.
Yeah.
But I would say I've started a new series that it's kind of like a group collaborative session. Smaller cappers are on there, ask questions. It's very personalized. So hop on. It's an hour-long conversation. You get direct feedback from somebody like myself on your business. Tips I think you should take, tricks I think you should definitely start integrating into your business to grow. Because at the same time, like everybody started somewhere. Mm-hmm. Again, I went through years of having less than 20 subs.
Yeah.
Right. I would maybe post for like 10 people on Twitter, and I would get a $5 tip. I'd be like, holy shit, like let's go. So everybody starts somewhere. You're not gonna just hop into the industry and be like, oh my god, like I'm gonna blow up.
Yep.
So just take the best practices, utilize what DubClub can offer you, which is great launch guides and proper ways to set up your business for success. Mm-hmm. And take advantage of the people that you're allowed to work with, right? We have so many great people with DubClub. Ask a lot of questions, I think, is the main one.
Yeah, get the answers. The answers are out there. I would say the answers to the test are out there. You just have to ask around. Yeah. In our case, all the nerdy kids that you'd sit next to and look at during the test, that's us, right? Yeah. Get the answers to the test from us. We know how to build your business. We know more about your business than you do. Realize, like, if you don't realize that, Dash knows more about your business than you do, for better or worse. You know more about the product that you're delivering, which is the plays and the content, the community. But like in terms of business, we got you.
Yep.
We got you. And we're going to help you guys continue to grow over time, because there's nothing more important than knowing how to optimize. Constantly feel like you're generating momentum. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that feeling. So that is the point you made when you were talking about smaller creators taking advantage of the resources DubClub has, and specifically recognizing it may take a while to break, like to find that point at which you hit the escalation curve and your business starts to take off. It sounded like you said you were posting to 10, 20 people on Twitter for weeks at a time, just grinding, getting your content out there, getting your name out there. And ultimately, eventually, it started to take off, right?
Yep.
You just had to continue to be consistent. What motivated you to keep doing that? And what advice would you have for someone that might want to not get out of bed in the morning and post again, because it's just so draining sometimes?
Yeah, I mean, even till today, right? Like, it's the last part of the year. I'm burnt out.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I've been posting every single day for like nearly 900 days or something like that. Like, it's a lot, right?
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a crazy amount. But if you look at it, like, I wouldn't trade it for the world, because I'm in the place I'm at now, right?
Yeah, that's right.
But it's the grind of being able to do you every day. Like, if you lose, well, shit, tomorrow's more games, something else you can bet on.
Yep.
Nobody's going to remember what you did yesterday.
Yep.
Even if you won, they're just going to look for the next person that's going to win the next day.
Yep.
Right? They're going to expect you to win every single day. And it's not physically possible. So make sure that if you do lose, like, hey, shit, there's another day. There's something else you can bet on. Don't get too down about it. Like, look at me. I lost by 0.1 2 days in a row. Yeah, I did crash out just a little bit, but like, that's I forgot about nature. It the next day,
That's right.
Yeah.
I think that's why there's a phrase that sleeping, when you go to bed at night, you die and wake up the next day.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's true. In that phrase, when someone says something to you and you're like not quite sure how to respond, it's, let me sleep on it.
Yeah.
Why is that? Well, because you turn over a new page the next day.
Yeah.
And that's an important part of this business and building any business, really. Like, you have the worst day possible. Mm-hmm. You wake up the next day and it's a new day.
Yeah.
Right. Back when I was playing football, I had a phrase I tell everyone. It's like, no matter how bad the play was, it's just like, guys, next play. Mm-hmm. That's really what it is. Next play.
Yeah.
So for you, for your advice for smaller creators that are just getting started, that are having a bit of trouble, maybe getting that momentum going and generating the will to keep going. It's just like, look, get up, next play, try something new, continue to iterate, make it fun, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's like a football game, like you said, right? There's so many plays in the football game, right? Yeah, you make one bad play. All it takes is you're going to make one good play. Everybody's going to forget about the bad play you made. You know what I mean? So just keep doing you,
Keep doing you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that advice. And when you said it's like, I'm happy where I am now. I mean, let's be clear. Like you bought a new place, you have a new puppy, like your life is good. And you probably don't have to worry about money for a long time. What other things have you done? You've helped pay your parents' mortgage. I mean, there's stuff that you've done that from this business has allowed you to sort of take steps that you never would have imagined, delivering Instacart groceries.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a blessing. I wouldn't trade it for the world. It's been a grind, and again, 900 straight days, holidays, birthdays. Like my birthday's tomorrow, and I'm still gonna be working.
Right.
Still gonna be posting.
Birthday week. Thanks for coming up.
Yeah,
December 4th.
Still gonna be working. Still gonna be posting. Like nothing's gonna change. Working on my girlfriend's birthday. Working through funerals before. Yeah, you guys might think the job's so easy. How is it so? Like I get this question all the time. How is it so hard posting sport plays? Right? Like.
Talk us through that. What goes into that one single screenshot of a Prize Pick slip?
Yeah, there's a ton of research, right? Looking up stats. I'll keep it short. Looking up stats.
No, don't keep it short. Talk us through it.
Yeah.
What does it entail?
Yeah, so every sport's kind of different, right? So for sports like college football, pretty easy for me to research, and I just started picking that up this year.
Nice.
Basketball takes the longest because there's so many things to look at.
Yep.
Volume, their minutes, the matchup, previous performances, etc. So it's a ton. Esports takes even longer because there's so much else you have to look into. Yeah, it's not as simple as clicking a few buttons and posting a play. Because then, yeah, if you lose, then it's like, damn, you lost money, you lost people money, and then now you're gonna lose that customer potentially if they feel like you're just half-assing your work. But if you put time into it, do a little bit of a write-up. I've been doing a lot of like voice memos lately. So doing like, hey, like, I'll post a play, quick like a minute or two breakdown of me talking about why I like certain players.
Are you getting good feedback on that?
Yeah, it allows them to like really dive into why, I posted that play rather than just posting something with no analysis. Like, it's kind of cut and dry that way.
Yeah, that's why I don't think the traditional term capper applies much, because you're going beyond just giving them, hey, do this. It's like, no, here's why. Here, let me take you through my process a little bit.
Exactly. And even if they don't use my play, let's say I post a list of plays that I like. If there's something on there that they like, but they just weren't confident enough to, place a bet on it, that should be the little extra motivation, a little extra boost.
Yeah.
That, like, oh, if Sriracha liked that, I already liked it before I even posted it. Let me lock that in. Like, that's why I tend to post a little bit beefier lists, because it allows a lot of people to use me as not just a sports handicapper, but a resource, for their own bets and stuff like that as well. Yeah.
Speaking of bets, you've cashed a lot of tickets. The 9 to win 40,000, which kind of started the whole Sriracha momentum back in the day. What are some of your biggest wins?
I would say that one was probably my biggest win. But in my book, wins aren't really monetary to me. Like wins are being able to do what I do what I love every day, making sure that the people around me are healthy, taken care of. Those are wins to me. Going to sleep happy is a big win. Waking up the next day is a big win. Yeah, like shit. Yeah, you lose a couple $1,000, make it back the next day. Like it sounds like it's very cliche saying that, but I mean, you don't die with your money, so try to make the most of every day and the experiences that you have. Let's
tease that out. What do you die with? What do you die with that you can hold on to?
I guess like the memories and people you impacted, So that's why, like, I feel like towards the end of the year, I kind of, and I apologize to my subscribers, I post pretty late now just because I'm taking time to enjoy my dinners now. I'm taking time to spend more time with my family and my dog, rather than cutting my dinner short, racing home, making sure I post by a certain time. Yeah, like I understand that as a business, but I also want to put out quality content too. So, I can't promise you that I'm going to be posting at an early time every single day, but I just want you guys to know that I'm trying my best. I'm sacrificing a lot still, and doing what I can.
Yeah, I think it's at the end of the day, it's quality, right? Yeah. That's what you're focused on, and that's the most important thing. Mm-hmm. Last question before I get into a quick trivia session. Not going to be deep trivia. I just kind of want to get a couple of your hot takes. You talk a little about like what winning means to you, what your wins are. Going to bed feeling good, waking up feeling good, doing things for people around you. You have serviced over 50,000 people on DubClub to date, and that number is growing all the time. Tell me about some of the stories you've heard from your subscribers that make you feel like, man, that was a win.
Yeah, so last time I was on here, I shared a quick leukemia story.
Yeah.
I believe it was.
Yeah, talk about that one, because some people may not have heard that podcast. I think that's a special story. Like, that's one that I like. It's near and dear to me because we're helping to facilitate that. But for you, it's like you were the one that helped that person.
Yeah. Long story short, his kid was dealing with leukemia, couldn't afford the treatment. Wife allowed him to take a gamble with his money to try to,
quite literally.
Yeah, it was either take a loan out or do that. So she was like, in the end, we're either gonna, have to find a way to make it work, right? So she allowed him to take that chance. He bet on esports, I think it was, and we ended up winning. So I was able to cover his child's leukemia treatment for I think the rest of that year, and I think she is leukemia free now. I haven't talked to him in a while, but I believe so.
We should send him this episode.
Yeah.
When it's out. But just to clarify, he used your advice to help win money to pay for his child's leukemia treatment.
Yep. It's incredible, and I don't really have too many other crazy stories. That was like one that really, sat with me for a while, but
that's a pretty incredible one.
Yeah, I think
I'm not trying to blow this out of proportion or anything, but it's actually objectively just the case. We obviously get into this business to help people make more informed decisions, but who knew you'd be saving people's lives?
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually pretty crazy.
Think about that.
A couple of new things I've been doing, outside of, I guess, subscriber stories is buying people lunch, dinner. I bought this couple of diapers like last month.
Nice.
I do a lot of those like weird.
Are they
giveaways.
in your community, in your DubClub?
Just on Twitter, literally, or
That's
X.
awesome.
Yeah, like I do a lot of like coffee giveaways in the morning. One cool thing I did that I haven't seen anybody else do was I've been doing these. I haven't done it in a while, but a drive-through giveaway. So I'll say, hey, anybody want lunch? They'll be like, yeah, I want lunch from this place, this place. I'm like, all right, go to the drive-through, say that Sriracha bought it for you, and I actually have a cool video, like a bunch of people commenting underneath. And I sent them money for their food, and then they're like, oh yeah, I want to say thank you to Sriracha for buying me this meal. And then they go through the drive, they're like, who's Sriracha? And then they're like, oh, there's this guy on Twitter that like paid for my lunch today. And like, it's a cool way to get your name spread.
Totally.
And it's like more interactive because at least I get a video back of them actually buying the food instead of using that money to place another bet. You know? So yeah.
100%. That's super fun.
Yeah.
Can't believe I haven't seen those yet. Are those
on
Twitter?
I haven't done it in a while. I should bring it back.
Bring it back. Yeah. Well, the media team, shout out to Doran. Doran will find that clip from your Twitter feed, and we'll throw it up because I want to see that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome. Okay, cool. Before we wrap here, I want to ask you a quick question, generally speaking, and that is, talk to me about, you're obviously a big sports fan. Talk to me about one of the worst play calls or the worst calls in sports history to your memory.
Oof. Man. I mean, I'll be honest with you. A lot of the Chiefs games this year, the refs have kind of, at the end of the game, kind of bailed them out a couple times. I wouldn't say that's the worst in sports history. The
11-1 Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean,
winning games by just 3 points every single time until the Bills got a hold of them. And whew,
I watched so many games that it's hard for me to remember. I know one in recent memory, Utah versus Lakers, like 3 days ago.
Oh wow.
Colin Sexton drove over Rui and made a game-winning layup, but the coach ran to half court and called a timeout while he's essentially making a move to shoot it over Rui. He actually made it. It would have been game over, Utah win, but the refs saw the head coach Will Hardy call timeout, so they had 2 seconds left. Utah gets the ball because obviously a timeout, and they ended up fumbling it and they lost. So it's a pretty bad coaching call, but that's the one I can remember recently.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. Yeah, I always come back to the Pete Carroll call.
Instead of instead of running the ball, he passed it. Yeah, in the Super Bowl.
I talked about that on like 4 podcasts ago, and then I asked a bunch of people who I know, and it's like the consensus view is that they should have run it. Mm-hmm. But I still think the pass was fine. Yeah. I think it was just a bad outcome. It's hard to associate the outcome with the
in hindsight.
inputs.
It's always
it's always 2020. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, you can say that about pretty much anything. Like, anytime, like the Chris Godwin from earlier in the year when Godwin was in with like 57 seconds left or whatever, and they were down by 10. It's like you're not going to win that game.
Yeah,
you're not going to win that game. And Godwin was on my fantasy team, and now I'm going to come in last in my fantasy league, and I have to do I think a 5K race with a costume on, like a mascot costume.
I will say this year though, a lot of crazy games, especially last week or 2 weeks ago. There was the Vikings game or something like that. They were up 10 with like 2 minutes left. Touchdown, onside kick, field goal into overtime. They ended up winning still by a field goal, but still,
Yeah, I actually forgot. So yeah, okay. 57 seconds left, down by 10. I guess it's possible.
Yeah.
I guess it's possible.
It
just stings hindsight. More when that's like your, like Godwin was having a
top 5 year.
And I totally snagged him in round like 6 or something in the fantasy draft.
Yeah.
6 or 7. I was like, yeah, I'm sitting pretty with this guy.
Yeah. It could be worse. You could have had McCaffrey.
I did. I traded him.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love Christian. Obviously, I'm like friends with him. But I hope he's doing well. I'm hoping he gets some time to rest and recover. Yeah. Just because like the guy's gotten beat up for 7 years now.
Yeah.
Like we graduated the same year, right? Like he's been grinding. His body is it's tough.
Mm-hmm.
Future Hall of Famer though.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Bailey, it's been a pleasure having you on the CEO Corner again. We're going to do this, before long. It's been a blast.
Yeah. I want to try to do it as much as possible. So maybe we'll do like a quarterly podcast checkup and see how you guys are doing as well. If you guys have questions, I'd love to answer them on the next time that I'm on here. Appreciate your support. If you want to sign up, I would love to have you in the Discord. Say you're from the podcast in the comments. I'll personally send you a discount code. That's more than the one that's in the comments right now.
There you go.
Appreciate you guys tuning in. Ryan has a bunch of great guests on this show as well, so make sure to tune in. Learn something from every single one you watch. We're all from different backgrounds, different places. But number one thing is chase your dreams.
Chase your dreams.
Chase your dreams.
Build your business on DubClub.
Yep. All right.
Thanks, Bailey.
Of course.
See you guys soon.